Chris, thanks for joining us down here at Sixes. You're here with Viagogo. Just tell us, how excited are you for this winter's Ashes series?
Oh, absolutely, so excited. Obviously, it feels a little bit weird being the other side of the fence. But yeah, just excited for obviously what's going to be an amazing series. Ashes series are always, ones that you want to watch. There's always a lot of drama. There's always a lot of needle, so to speak. And there's nothing better than the build-up, I suppose. Obviously, once the cricket starts, it's great, but obviously the build-up is huge. Everyone's got an opinion on team selection, score lines, runs, wickets. So really enjoying it, and obviously really excited about it.
And how's international retirement treating you? Do you think it will set in more when you see the boys playing? Because at the minute, you're here in London, but there hasn't been a test tour since you called it a day. Do you think it will set home more when you're watching it?
Yeah, potentially. I suppose at the minute I feel great. You know what I mean, having made the decision and clear, and feel great with that. But I think you're right. Once the games start, I think it'll be might sink in a little bit more. But I'm obviously still happy with the decision, and really keen to watch, I suppose, the Ashes as a fan now. Really important to get behind the lads, and hopefully, I actually genuinely think we've got a great opportunity in Australia, so really excited about what the lads are going to do.
Just to take us back to your first time touring Australia, 17, 18 I think it was, and a lot of people say what it's like Australia, you're constantly bombarded by the media, you can't really get a break. Reflecting on before and after, do you think you were prepared going into that? And you can be as prepared as you are, but until you actually experience it, there's a lot of lads on their first Ashes tour.
Yeah, it's definitely a step up. In Ashes series, there's obviously the scrutiny around it and everything that I've just talked about. The build-up, and there's a lot more media coverage, and naturally in Australia, I think cricket seems to be followed, especially in the summer. So cricket seems to be followed a hell of a lot more than what you get in the UK, and everywhere you go is there's reporters, there's cameras, and as a professional player, you're kind of used to that, but you're not used to that sort of intense scrutiny from the opposition public. Australians like to know who they are and who you are, and I think until you experience that, you don't really understand what you're stepping into. And I think naturally Ashes series brings drama, and everyone looks back on Ashes series, and I think that's always in the back of your mind as a player. But I don't think I was, I'd been to Australia before, so kind of half knew what to expect, but I hadn't been on an Ashes tour, and certainly a step up.
Do you think there'll be even more scrutiny around this team? Because as good as they are when they play, Rob Key said it, they do say stupid things in the media. Brookie said go harder, they're 10 for 4. Ben Duckett said the more the merrier about a follow-on total. So do you think because of that and the way they're perceived by Australians, do you think they get it more hostile out there?
Potentially. I think you're always going to get hostility in Australia, particularly in the grounds. Obviously you might get it whilst you're having a coffee out on the sidewalk or something, but I don't know. It's one of those scenarios where actually I think England could easily win over the Australian public as well, the way we play. Naturally, if it doesn't go well, the Australians will be all over you. But if you start taking the Australians on at their own game, and standing up to them and showing what you're capable of, and playing good cricket, the Australians will respect that as well. And Australians can get on their own players' backs as well. So that's what you got to try and do. You try and win over the Australian public, the Australian fans, and the lads are just going to go about their business and trying to do what they do. And they play an exciting brand of cricket, and I think Australians might actually secretly enjoy that.
And they're obviously building up towards the Ashes over the last couple of years. They drew at home, they drew against India in the summer. Do you think the next step now is to win those big series? Yeah,
it is, naturally. I think, we'd have liked to have, as an England team, got over the line in one of those series. You can talk about shoulda, woulda, couldas all you want, but at the end of the day, the scoreline is the scoreline, and at the end of the day, they haven't got over the line in those big series. And I suppose this is the next opportunity, and Ashes down under doesn't get any bigger. I know the team will be desperate to make sure that this happens. They've got a great opportunity. They'll believe in the squad. And I think as long as the series starts well, I think we've got a great opportunity to do that. So the big series win is what this team probably needs and wants, and what a great opportunity to do it down under.
And just explain to us mere mortals what it's like to play in an Ashes series. Is it the pinnacle for you?
Yeah, definitely. Within Test cricket, in particular, obviously World Cups have a different feel to it, and I've been very fortunate to have won 2 and feel amazing. But I think obviously winning Ashes series and playing in Ashes series have that little bit of a special feel to it. Donning the whites, wearing the England blue cap, Playing Test cricket for England is where it's at, and obviously to win in Australia would be kind of the pinnacle. So I'm really hoping the guys can go down there and do it. Full backing from myself, and I know the England fans, so hopefully they can get it over the line.
And first and foremost, being the ex-cricketer, being that won 2 World Cups, but first and foremost, you're a fan. So what's it like inside the dressing room when you hear the news Pat Cummins is out for the first test? I know the players say we don't focus on that, but surely inside the dressing room, a couple of boys must be talking about it.
Yeah, I think they naturally will. I think you lose such a big player of a side like Australia in Pat Cummins. He's also their captain, their leader. That will have a big impact on their team. He missed a test match in the last series down under, and we lost that test match. So it's not the be all and end all, but I think naturally from inside the dressing room it would give you a little bit of an advantage. Of course, there's a great replacement in Scott Boland. He's a wonderful bowler, but at the same time, he isn't Pat Cummins, and what Pat Cummins brings to the team, not necessarily just his bowling. So I think within the dressing room there'll be a secret sort of a little fist pump to see him miss one test match. I think from a fan's point of view, you want to see the best versus the best. I know Broady said that, but from an England player's perspective, if it weakens them slightly, then it's a bonus, I suppose. just
finally, you're not touring Australia this time round, so more time to watch the Villa, and obviously Gabby's now a big paddle man. Are you a paddle man yourself?
Yeah, I've played paddle a few times.
You keen to get in with Gabs?
Yeah, I'd happily give Gabs a game, or maybe partner up with him. Obviously I was on the other week, and I think it was Ali and Gabs, so I had a good crack with them. But get down to the Villa, and they've turned it around from the start of the season, so things are looking up.